Hi, this is Ms. Tyner, and our podcast topic today is creating an online presentation. Topics covered in the podcast include locating and opening an online PowerPoint, changing the name of your PowerPoint, creating a title slide, creating a new slide, creating a new text box with info, and adding images. Okay, let's get started with learning about how to do an online presentation. Let's take a look at the Google Apps presentation tool. To begin your online presentation, you will need to log into your school Google account. Let's navigate to the Google website from our BES website. To begin with, we'll just go over and we'll hover over the links. Then we'll go down and we'll click once on BES Quick Links. After our page loads, we'll want to scroll down using the side scroll bar and then find the last link on that page, which is the Google login link. The next page loads, and it's the Google page where we're going to enter our student email. Remember, your student email should be a series of numbers. That's your lunch number. So you'll enter that information there. So you'll enter your email name and you'll enter your password. And then you'll click sign in. As Google loads, the first thing you'll see is your email inbox. We're not going to look at email today, but we need to find the Google Apps icon and find the presentation tool. So let's navigate up to the Google Apps icon, click once, and then go ahead and click on Drive. Our Drive comes up, and we want to create a new presentation, so we're going to navigate over to the red button that says create. We're going to click once, and this is a left-handed click, and you're going to drive down to the word presentation, and there again you're going to click once. A new presentation loads, and we're ready to start. The very first thing we need to do is we need to change the name of our presentation. All third graders need to name their presentation with their first and last name. To do this, you want to go up and you want to click once on Untitled Presentation and then type in your first and last name with no spaces and say OK. Notice how the presentation is now my first and last name. So we're ready to move on. Next, we're going to change our background because we learned in an earlier tutorial that it's always best to have a dark background when we're doing a PowerPoint. So let's hover up over background and click once and change our background color. And we're going to change it to something dark. Let's choose a blue. Okay, notice that it just changed in the background there. But I want to apply this same color to every slide that I create. So I'm going to click Apply to All, and then I'm going to say Done. Okay, now we're ready to start entering our information in our slide. But before we do that, I want to go up and I want to show you the Layout button. Notice if I click once on Layout, this shows me all the various slides that I can create. A title slide, a title and body, and I can even click and create a blank slide. For now, though, our task is to create a title slide. So I'm going to go back up and I'm going to choose Title Slide. And now I'm ready to enter my information. I'm going to click to add the title of my presentation. I just put my cursor over the words, click to add title, and I do a left click once. And notice that the text goes away, and now I have that flashing cursor. And I'm going to type in the title of my presentation. Okay, then I just remove my cursor and notice that I can move my title around by moving inside the words and waiting till my cursor changes to 4 arrows. And then I do a left click and hold, and I can just drag that title around if I want to raise it up a little bit. The next thing I need to do is I need to put the author of this presentation. I'm going to use my subtitle box for that. So again, I click once. But I want to justify this to the right so it's over in my right-hand corner. So I need to go up to my line box and then I'll click and I'll choose a justified right button to add my author. Okay, just like before, I can click off my box, and if I want to move that box, I'm going to click on the words, and I'm going to wait till my cursor changes to 4 arrows and do a left click and just drag it down. Okay, so now I have created my title slide. So I'm ready to move on with my presentation. I know the next information I need to add is some text about my historical person. So I need to create a new slide. So there again, I'm going to go back up to my tools, and I'm going to look for the plus. And I'm going to click the plus. That's a left click once. And notice I get a new slide. But this doesn't fit with what I need to do, this particular layout. So I'm going to change my layout. So I'm going to go back up to layout, click once, a left-handed click, and I'm going to just choose a blank slide because I want to add my own text box. To create a text box, I go back to my tools, I click on the T that's surrounded by the lines, and then I move my cursor over toward my presentation, and notice how my cursor becomes some crosshairs. So to make my text box, I'm going to left click, and then I'm going to drag diagonally until I get that text box. Notice I have a cursor here, and I'm just going to begin to type in my information. That text is really little, so I need to increase the size of my text. So I'm going to highlight my text, and I'm going to go up to my font size, and I'm going to change that, maybe to a 48. But what I also want to do is I want to center that name on my page, so I go back to my align, and I choose center. Now I have nice big text, and it's aligned to the center. Now I'm ready to add my other information. So I'm just going to hit my return key. I want this information to be bulleted. So I go and I find my bullets, and I click my arrow, and I just select the kind of bullets I want. Okay, the bullets are kind of big, so I probably want to change my font size and make it a little smaller. Maybe that. I don't want it to align to the center. I want it to align to the left. So I click my align left. And now I just type in my information. I'm just typing in the information that I found while I was researching. Always careful to check for capitalization and follow all my grammar rules, because grammar does matter. Okay, now I have my information in, and that's all the text I'm going to enter on that particular slide. So now I just click off that, and maybe that's a little too close, so I might want to go up here and maybe I want to add another space. And that looks a lot better. So now my next step is to add images. Remember in an earlier audio podcast, I told you it was very important to have all your facts and to have your images ready and in a location on your computer, so when you got ready to create your presentation, you wouldn't have to go looking for them. So I already have my images on my computer, so now I'm just ready to add those. So I'm going to go up to Insert. I'm going to choose Image, and I'm going to look for my images. I know my location, so I'm just navigating or drilling down to them, to those images that I saved. And remember, I uploaded my images from Flickr because that's a free source for me. Okay, and it looks like I got an error message, so I'll go back again and I'll choose my image. Okay, there's my image. So then I'll just move that image over to a location. And then notice that I can change the size of my image by dropping down and clicking on that handle and just doing a diagonal move to resize that image. I want to add one more image, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to choose Insert, and I'm going to do Image, and I'm going to choose an image to upload again. There again, I know the location of my image, so I'm just looking for my image, and I'm going to say Open, and it uploads. And then I can move it. That image is a little big, so there again, maybe I want to make that image smaller, so I click on my handle and I scroll in to make that image a little smaller. Okay, so now remember that when you're in Google Drive, your presentation automatically saves, and you don't have to do any file saving to save it. So we have created 2 slides, and with these 2 slides, you have all the steps you need to create your online presentation. To summarize what you've seen in this podcast, I've shown you how to locate and open an online presentation in the Google Apps. I've shown you how to change the name of your presentation, to how to create a title slide, how to create a new slide, how to create a text box to add your info, and also how to add your images.